board member for Rittenhouse Fine Arts Square, and I would like to welcome you to our new virtual initiative, 5 o'clock club. The club would be hosting various artists, and there would be an art demo and artist talk, some interviews, and lots of fun, lots of art. So, all right. Today, my niece is going to help me to shoot the video. Hi, come on over. That's my niece, Bunny. She's going to help me film this artist talk, so I hope you enjoy.
Yeah.
We'll start in a few minutes, but yeah.
Yeah, let's.
All right.
Shall we start?
Yeah, shall we start? All right. If you have any questions, please type in the box. I'll try and answer as many as I can. If not, I'll definitely get back to you by tonight. And yes, this is this session. I'm calling it as Painting Birds My Way, and we'll talk a lot about how I approach painting birds, what inspires me to paint birds, how do I see them or interact with my subjects. In this case, it's birds. So it's going to be a lot of fun. All right, let me first start with a brief studio tour, and then we'll start the painting part. All right, come on over. Let me show you some fun new pieces that I have been working. One of them is my favorite piece. It's called Hugo. Let me bring it out.
Yeah.
Can you see?
No, actually, it will be better if you bring it out,
Huh?
or I'll come the other way.
Is it good? How about now?
I think we're good.
Good? Good?
Yeah.
So, by the way, you can see all this artwork and many more on my website, which is rinalparikh.com. But the thing that I would like to show is my painting style is a lot more influenced by Indian folk art, and the subjects are much more, the approaches are much more contemporary version of it. As you can see, this border, the way the plants and everything is, the landscape part is very decorative. This particular style I tried to is influenced by kalamkari. I personally love this style because it's very decorative, very intricate, and how should I put it? Fun style, very colorful. You might, when you see this, you might see that a lot of textiles, Indian textile might mimic this style, and that's what it is. In India, it is used for textile printing. Here are a few more. But if you want to come around.
Yeah.
This is another kalamkari inspired painting. It's called Pond. Here, it's again inspired by kalamkari style. And the one thing I wanted to point is I use that form of art to create landscape. So to me, my approach was more of a landscape. And as you can see, there's a lot of birds and pond, and a lot of activities going inside the pond, and the subjects are heron, but they're also very decorative and ornamental. Here's my little deers. There again, kalamkari form of art, and you can see there's a families of deer. Like especially look at the clouds. It's very decorative and fun. I think it's a little bit on the whimsical edge, or some you can say fantasy too. So it's a mixture of fantasy, whimsical, folk, and fun. Here's another one that I would like to show you. This is my newest series called Sorin, and this is the first piece. this is again, it's a bird inspired painting, and this style particularly is called Varli form of art. Varli is in India used for as a mural art. It's to decorate outside wall of the houses, and the way I use it as to portray my feelings and emotions through this style. It's very simple, 2 colors, very textural, because again it is used as a mural art, so I put a lot of texture, as you can see, on my canvas and portray my subject. So here my emotions were the flying birds and how I would feel when I'm standing underneath and the flock of birds just flies over it. I think their synchronized movement is very, there's something about that, I just can't put it in the words, but it makes me, I've been trying to portray the subject for a while. So this is my first piece. I have another piece that I'm working. This is again available on my website, but this is the one that I recently started. And Bonnie, let me know if you can see.
Yes, one second. Yeah, we're good.
So here, it's the same subject, it's soaring, and I'm trying to stand. My perspective is I'm standing in front of it, and all the birds are going to fly from the pond, so it's going to go like this, almost like a rainbow approach to this piece. Good?
Good.
All right. So, now, do we have any questions for me?
I don't think so.
All right.
I can't
So,
see.
Here are my bird painting. Now these are, again, the approach here is still landscapey, but these are also mix of portrait as well. And like here, from here. So this painting is called Perching Parrots, and here I try to mix another style of folk art, and that is called Madhubani. Madhubani is more like a 2-dimensional, rudimentary style of painting. It's very raw, very preliminary form of the, like their the style alphabet is very premature and preliminary. But so the birds and flower, I try to approach that way, but I try to put it in more kalamkari form, so it looks more fabricy, textile-y, decorative. And the birds the parrots are very realistic looking. And here's another of my favorite piece. This is Peacock, and again, this is a mixture of 2 styles. It is influenced by Madhubani and kalamkari form of art. And this particular piece, I'm super excited to paint because when I was in college, our campus had a lot of peacocks, and the way I remember them were, the first thing I see is tails, and then when you look up, there's a peacock head. So that's why the way I painted it, the head is almost camouflaging with the sky part. Did you get the eyes?
Yeah, there.
Yeah,
So
I think.
real.
I know. I think eyes is what makes it alive. So, here are some more paintings. The other one I wanted to show you is
Yeah.
the eagle. Again, as you can see, the bird is painted very realistically, but the background is very decorative and folk styling. So in all, I would say that my style is more influenced by Indian folk art. I mainly portray my subjects, or I portray my background, either Varli I mean kalamkari or Madhubani style. But yeah, I love birds. They're fun and exciting to paint. Hold on. Alright. So, how are we doing on time? Good?
Yeah, 1 second. Sorry for the...
No worries. So do we have any questions so far, Dhwani? Okay. Alright. So let me show you first my supplies. I think they are fun. Most people know me that I paint with tiny brush, and here are some of my favorite numbers. I normally don't go any higher than number 2 round brush. It's because I think that's my comfort zone.
Okay, we have questions.
Sure.
Like the one, do you portray your emotions through color, or is the color based more in tradition?
That's a really good question. I think the Varli itself is so, the subject becomes so colorful that I think it is powerful to just leave it to colors. Let me show you a piece regarding that. Here, it is a 2-color painting. It's brown and white. The painting is called Summer Afternoon, and it is a story about everything me and my kids did last summer. And as you can see, we went to outdoor music concert, we danced a little bit there, we went for boating last year, we bought the new house, and we have a giant yard and a lot of butterflies, so kids had fun catching the butterflies. We did a lot of campfires and picnics. We love flying kites. So I think that when you look at the Varli, there's so much going on, and it is so colorful. It's a social painting. So I think it is like and when I'm painting stories, I want the background to be quiet, and stories do all the talking. So Varlis, I prefer 2 colors.
And one more question.
Sure.
Are the edges of the paper ripped to create the texture?
No, they are unfinished papers, so they come random. I have some papers, they are not even square, they are diamond shaped, and I try not to cover them. I think they make my painting very interesting. It's very decorative and very intricate, whereas the edges are rough and random, so it just creates a visual, how do I say, just the visuals are amazing, that it's unfinished but the painting is finished. It's like an opposite thing attracts. So here are some of my brush. Should I come close?
Yeah, I'll just come.
So most of my brushes are 0, and they are fine tip. And I like the another one that I do all my details is, this is a 2 of the 0, which I love. They are really good with the fine details and lining. Right there. Okay. I paint my Varlis with acrylic. On mixed media, I use sand, I use hay, I use random stuff to create that stucco-like effect. But when I'm painting with paper, I usually prefer gouache. Here are some of my gouache. I use mixed. I sometimes like acrylic one, which are more plasticky, and I like the regular gouache when I'm doing more like a watercolor effect. I'll show you a painting that I'm working right now, but here are the 2 that I normally use. Alright, so now let's talk about how I approach my subject. This one I started working for Zoom event for Rittenhouse Square a month ago. I haven't still got a chance to finish it, so I thought it would be a perfect example to talk about. This particular one, we saw one night owl fly through our backyard, and I thought it was very interesting, so that's the painting. But the drawing part is I just placed my owl roughly, and then it was all with the brush. So I don't draw much. It's all done with the paint. So let's do a little bit of that, and then we'll go into colors.
Sorry to interrupt, but
Sure.
2 more questions.
Mm-hmm.
Is the raw paper available online, and where to get it? And yeah, first answer this.
You can go online and get it. I sometimes buy from India. When I'm there, I usually get a whole lot. But you can certainly get that from India as well. I mean, here online as well.
And someone has to ask, what is gouache?
Gouache is a watercolor, but they're heavily pigmented, so they come out opaque rather than transparent. The traditional watercolors are transparent. Gouache are not transparent, they are opaque watercolors. Do you want to bring it closer?
Yeah, I'll just bring it so you can see the fine details.
So this is my drawing that's going on as a base. It is all done with the brush. There is no underdrawing. And I like it because, you know, it is more impromptu rather than rehearsed. So it has its own fun to it. It has own challenges. You're always focused because, you know, it's paint, you can't go back, so you're more focused and constant. You're paying a lot of attention to what you're doing. So here it is. Just rough drawing. And what I'm going to do later is go back in and fill in my color to create that depth. Now here, luckily my color palette is going to be black and white. This is the first time I'm trying my bird portrait black and white. I guess that's why I choose owl, because I'm going to paint my owl black and white too with bold yellow eyes.
Yeah, someone just asked, is it with just black and white, and are you doing more black and white these days?
I'm actually quite into black and white. I'm normally not, but there's something this season is drawing me towards black and white, so you might see a huge collection of them this year. So the plan, for now, the plan is it's going to be black and white, and the eyes are going to be popping yellow-orange color. I think it will be fun. Like, I can feel it's going to be fun, but here it is, like. So it's first drawing, and then I go in and paint in, fill in the colors. All right, let me finish this part and then I'll show you the other piece that I'm excited to talk about. And this is that would be a perfect example of why I use two different kind of gouaches. So give me a minute. You don't want to leave it in half because then it leaves the patches.
One more question. Do you image the piece as you go along since you don't draw?
I do. Like, I have a general notion of what and where I want to go. Like this one in particular, I saw owl. I was in my backyard and owl flew over my head. So I love that perspective and I love the way it looked. So that was my perspective, but the design element comes impromptu. That's why, like, when I paint, I paint for hours straight. I don't paint 2 hours, 3 hours. When I'm painting, it's like 8-9 hours stretch because most of the times I don't have reference pictures. So it's all impromptu as I go thing. So if I stop and if I come back, it turns into a completely new vision, and at that time, it is hard for me to connect the vision that I had yesterday and that I'm feeling today. So I try and sit for longer stretches to paint. So, this is the other one that I was really excited to show.
Sorry. Do you sketch the rough before the painting?
I do place my birds or my subjects, to say in a better words, that I place my subject where I want to be. Like here, you can still see the lines for owls if you come close. Like it's roughly sketched. Like this is where I want my owl to be, and from there on, it is all impromptu. Good?
Yep, I think.
So here's another one that I'm working on. I started this morning. I wanted to show some colors and effect. Now this is a really good example of why I use two different form of gouaches. Like as you can see, these flowers were done with the regular gouache, and the reason was I wanted to develop the watercolor effect. I'm still working on it, but you can see that there's a lot of blending. Whereas when you use acrylic gouache, there is not that much of blending. It actually acts exactly like your normal acrylic paint. So it's more plasticky and it mixes but doesn't spread and will give you that mixing on palette effect. So here it is. This is a little birdie that I have. I'm going to work on sparrows today. So here are the three different ones, like 1, 2, 3. I did the base color for this. So that's another thing. So I sketch, I put black line around it so my subjects are clear. And then I start working with putting the base color. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the base color, just to create a guideline for me that where I want to do. And here's another sparrow that I have done a couple of months ago. So you can see that how it's going to develop and come out. Good?
Yep.
All right. So. Bear with me till I figure out my colors. So the sparrows, I'm going to use traditional gouache, and the reason is because I want a lot of mixing and matching. This particular piece I forgot to mention, this is all acrylic gouache, and the reason is there is no glass on top of the frame, so just make it permanent. this is all acrylic gouache. So this might be another way to use the gouache. Like if you decide to frame without glass, you use acrylic gouache. If not, then you use a regular gouache. So I'm getting a lot of browns and yellow ochre, white.
Yeah. Do you work with different kinds of color of handmade paper?
No. I use one.
And when you do commission work on a wall, for instance, do you still use gouache and seal it, or do you use different kind of paint?
I use different kind of paint. There is a mural paints available. I try to stick with that because they're easy to work with. But in my style, I have used regular wall paints as well. But you certainly want to use the mural paint. And let me show you my secret paint. The one that I love and doesn't show up is for birds, I use, if I can really find it here. I should have got that paint out. So one is my pearl white is to go color when I paint birds, and the reason is you can't see that paint, but it gives that undertone shimmer to your bird. So when you look at it, just becomes live. Like, you know, the birds in nature has a little bit of shimmer, but not shine, like not silver. So that's what my pearl white does for me. Okay, I cannot find it today, so you're gonna. Oh, here it is. Yep, right there. So here's my little cheat sheet. Got it?
Yep.
Alright. I'm going to take that out. I should have got the paints out. Alright, so here's my palette for this bird. If you come close and see. The green is for different reason, but the rest is for the same particular for the bird. So the green here is to create some details in the painting. So here's my palette for my sparrow, and let's go. Ready?
Yeah.
All right. So here it is. So I'm starting with green just to add some detail around the bird. And again, the brush is 0. I feel the tinier detail makes my bird pop. So it's like almost becomes three-dimensional. The details are so tiny, and at that point the bird looks a little bit bigger. details also help me hide any imperfection that I have in the painting. So it makes it more fun and appealing to audience.
So, is the Pearl White a Windsor and Gouache family?
It is a gouache family and it is from Holbein. There's Pearl White. Who's here? Yeah, it is not Windsor and Newton, it is from Holbein.
And
yeah, it is acrylic gouache, yes.
okay. And do you have to worry about the paint drying on the palette?
Yes, especially acrylic one, they don't last. It dries out pretty fast. I'm not going to finish this because it's going to take me all night, but let's move on to the bird. So when it comes down to, so this is how I'm going to feel the whole canvas, whole space. So a lot of small flowers and petals to feel the almost like the background is like a fabric and these birds are inside the studio and placed as a model. That's the approach that I'm trying here. So we're all lots of flowers and birds, and in midst of that there will be 3 birds. So when it comes down to birds, I always start with beak. I think that makes it a little more easier to start with. Should I paint like this? Is it easier to see?
Yeah, that would be helpful.
Okay. So there's already an underlying paint for the beak. So all I'm doing is putting the second coat and finishing coat to it just to create more definition and dimension. How are we doing on time?
I think we're good.
Good?
We have time.
Okay. All right.
Maybe you can show. Yeah.
Do you see?
No, the.
Okay. So now comes the feather part, and this is where my metallic white, the pearl white that I was talking, is going to come into the action. So as you can see, I'm working smaller strokes, and I started with the beige. Underneath it's a beige yellow, and here I'm starting with white. I think this will help see. So here's the tiny lines. Can you get that lines, Dhwani, or no?
I'll try. I'll get a close-up. 1 second. Sorry for the
No worries.
blur part.
Let me try a darker shade.
Yes.
Got it?
Yep, it's visible.
So the style is slowly and steadily build that feather layers. So when the finished painting comes up, you feel like there is layers and layers of feathers, and that's how my approach is. It's not flat paint. It's this is just a second layer. I might go at least 2 more layers before I feel that it's fluffy enough to be said it's done. And that's what creates a dimension too, because at that point there are so many colors. It just makes it look more realistic. Do we have questions for now?
No, not yet.
Okay. So a little bit black to create that depth and dimension to the bird. And I'm also slowly shaping my feathers as well. Yes, we are going virtual this year, again for September. So here, let me show you. I think I should do the eyes,
Yeah.
to finish it off. So here is our sparrow in progression. Can you guys see it properly? There you go.
You work light to dark, right?
I do. I do work light to dark. Now let me show you what my metallic white does. Can you come close, Ryan? Yes. So metallic white does not show up. That's the best part about metallic white. But what it does it just add that light sheen to it, which creates that effect of light. Can you see? Can you get the sheen?
Yes, 1 second.
Is it coming? Do you want me to move?
No, be stable. I'll just move. Yeah.
How are you doing? Good?
Yeah, this is perfect.
Can you see the sheen?
Yes, it's
No worries.
But yeah.
You got it.
Yeah.
So see, it's not loud to say that it's gold and shiny and shimmery, but it has that, it gives the fur, it makes the bird's fur liver with this little metallic color. And here I think you can see a little bit better. Yeah. Do you want to come closer and see the eyes part? Oh, is it blur?
No, now it's good. Hi.
So as you can see that those small strokes and line just creates that three-dimensional effect on the bird, and it makes them come alive. Good.
Yes.
So, do we have any questions?
I'll check 1 second.
Sure. No? Alright. Let me take you one more time around my studio to see some pieces that we didn't see before. Do you want to come here and I'll show, oh, I forgot to show the rooster. Can you get it close? This has a lot of shine and shimmer to it.
Yes.
Good?
Yeah.
Great. Next week, this time, this place, Facebook Live, we'll have our another board member, Carrie Sacco, be live on the platform. So I hope you guys all tune in. This is Rinal Parikh. You can see all this work and many more on my website. It's www.rinalparikh.com. You can also go to my YouTube channel and look for me. That has a lot of, for now it only has a couple, but I'm planning on loading more videos and demos about my work, about my past work, about my major art commissions, murals. So I hope you enjoy, and thank you so much for watching today. Thank you.